Om Shri Sai Ram. Welcome to everyone to the 6th episode of the Sathya Sai Story, the continuation of his glory after the growth from Satya to Sai. All of us are now traveling with our beloved Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba, our dear Swami, from the town of Karur to the town of Udumalpettai. The host for Swami at Udumalpettai is Shri Balapattabhi, a staunch devotee by now, and he has arranged a special van for this travel, and the driver of the van is a person by name Swami. There is a reason I am mentioning the name of this person, because he was an atheist. He did not believe in God itself, forget accepting Swami as God. Now the route that they had taken to travel from Karur to Udumalpettai was via a very small town, maybe a village called Perumpallam. Swami had instructed the driver not to stop the van at any cost at any place. Now this had got the driver Swami worried, because there wasn't sufficient petrol in the van. How can they reach the destination if they are not to stop anywhere? If they cannot stop, the van will stop on its own. That is what he was thinking. But then at Perumpallam, one of the occupants of the van had a suggestion for Swami. You see, in the van, Swami had materialized some sweets and savories for everyone to have along the way. But then this devotee had packaged some eatables, some fruits and some coffee, and he requested Swami whether they can stop at one of the beautiful coconut groves that were there outside Perumpallam so that they can have like a picnic. And Swami graciously agreed. Now when they had stopped, the driver thought this was the chance, because the indicator in his van showed that the fuel tank was empty. Not nearly empty, it was empty. And therefore, since there were several kilometers yet to be traversed, he thought that he could borrow petrol from a car that was coming from Udumalpettai. You know, back in those days, every vehicle would carry some extra fuel along with them. This is because there weren't as many petrol pumps or gas stations as we have today in India. So there's a good chance that he would have fuel. But Swami knows everything, right? Swami called Shri Balapattabhi again and told him, nobody should go and ask anybody for fuel, tell the driver to come back. And so the driver was very mystified. He was even irritated, because he thought, let Swami do his work, let him allow me to do my work. He was there just doing his duty. He was not here as a devotee of Swami. But then, dear brothers and sisters, many people's journey towards the ultimate, towards sakshatkar, towards moksha, begins at the first stage of chamatkar. From chamatkar to samskar. Chamatkar is miracle, samskar is refinement. From samskar to paropkar. Paropkar is participating in seva, participating in good actions. And that paropkar leads to sakshatkar, or the ultimate. The chamatkar stage had arrived for Swami, because he drove the van on an empty petrol tank from Perumpallam to Udumalpettai. And the van drove all the way up to Balapattabhi's home and stopped right in front of the home. So while we have heard of miracles where Swami puts his hand into water and converts it into petrol, dear brothers and sisters, his word is enough. Swami's word is enough. We just need faith. I am reminded of the incident in the Bible where the general comes to Jesus and asks for healing of his servant. And then he says, "Oh Lord, you need not come there. Just say it here and he will be cured, because your word is that powerful." So too Arjuna told Lord Krishna, "Oh Krishna, I will not even look up at the sky at which bird it is, because I have more faith in your words than my own eyes." When we have such faith, the Lord's words will come true. In this case, the driver did not have faith, and yet he could witness the Lord's word being sufficient to power the van all the way up to the home of Shri Balapattabhi. What happened at Udumalpettai has been beautifully recorded by Shri Balapattabhi in his Tamil book Shri Sathya Sai Leelamritam. So it was sometime in the afternoon when Swami arrived there, and he was welcomed with the Purna Kumbham, the pot with holy waters and a coconut on top, and there was a procession, and Swami was led into the home. Swami then walked inside the home as if he knew it like his own home. Yes, indeed, all of our homes is Swami's home. He doesn't need an invitation to come because it is his own home. He went straight and sat on the chair that had been designated for him. And there was a silver plate, silver cutlery for him to have lunch. Swami asked them to clear that and asked for a banana leaf instead. And he had his meals on the banana leaf. After that, Swami folded the banana leaf, went to one place in the grounds of the house and asked for that leaf to be buried there. A pit was dug and that leaf was buried, and as the mud was closed, Swami waved his hand over that pit. From that pit, spontaneously arose a tulsi plant, the holy basil. That tulsi plant came, and then Swami again waved his hand, and from the same spot, a flowering plant also arose. Everyone was thrilled at these miracles of the Lord, after which Swami went and retired for a short rest. After his rest, he came and he asked for the place where he had had his food, right? For that place to be cleaned and a rangoli to be put. You know the pattern on the ground that they draw with rice flour back in those days? It would also serve as food for the ants. So as Swami said, this rangoli was drawn. Now, Swami asked for an idol of Lord Sri Rama that Swami had materialized in 1946 for Balapattabhi. It was a small idol, but it was very heavy, and that idol was brought, and Swami held it very lovingly, placed it on his lap, and then Swami waved his hand and materialized Vibhuti. He put it in that spot. After that, he again waved his hand and materialized the Nava Ratnas, the 9 gems, and then as he put it on the ground, in front of everybody's eyes, those Navaratnas, those precious gemstones automatically went into the ground and they disappeared. Then Swami installed the Lord Sri Rama idol over there. Even to this day, dear brothers and sisters, that Lord Sri Rama idol is there. Of course, now it is in the custody of the daughter of Sri Balapattabhi. This is a picture taken in the year 2020. Then from Sri Balapattabhi's home, Swami went to the residence of his brother. Over there, all the family members indulged and worshipped Swami with Pada Puja. They cleaned his feet with the holy water brought from several rivers, and then they worshipped with Kunkuma, with Chandana, that is sandalwood paste, and then vermilion, also haldi, with flowers. To their heart's content they worshipped, and towards the close of this worship, they wanted to break a coconut. Before they could break that coconut, Swami asked for that coconut, held it in one of his hands, and with the finger of the other hand, drew a circle around the coconut at the circumference and neatly opened it into 2 halves with such delicacy that Sri Balapattabhi records that not even a drop of that coconut water inside fell out, like that. And then he handed this to Sri Balapattabhi and told him to hold on, then waved his hand and materialized 9 golden idols of the Navagrahas. These are considered as planets that influence our good fortune and ill fortune, and therefore people hold them with great reverence and respect. Swami materialized these 9 idols, placed them inside one of the halves of the coconut, then took the other half and covered it and just pressed it. And the coconut got sealed and became whole again with those 9 golden idols inside. Swami then asked for a cloth, wrapped that coconut in the cloth and gave it to Sri Balapattabhi to again bury it in one of the corners near one of the entrances of the home. And that is the magnificent Leela that Swami did at the residence of Sri Balapattabhi and his brother, and it's recorded in Sri Sathya Sai Leelamritam. It also reminds me that though Swami does all of this, we have to remember what Swami has said in his discourses. When you have Bhagawan's anugraha, meaning Bhagawan's grace, what can the Navagraha or these 9 planets do to you? Yes, Swami follows Rahu Kalam. Rahu Kalam is supposed to be the inauspicious time. He follows it for our benefit. But then when we have faith in him, we are beyond it. Here is a video that I had made on the Rahu Kalam, and it shows that these are all meaningful. They have a scientific basis. But once we have faith, none of them affect us. Even the unluckiest of days become the most blessed of days. So after these Leelas, Swami then started back. It was around 6 p.m. towards Karur, so that more people can enjoy his darshan, sparshan and sambhashan. Another route was taken, this time via the village of Kulathupalyam. This route was also a shorter route. It was taken so that Swami could reach Karur by 10:30 p.m. But then at this Kulathupalyam, around 8:30 at night, there was a halt, most probably for dinner. At that time, the driver of the van, our dear Kumaraswamy, who had witnessed the first miracle of his life, where the van ran without any petrol, he went to take a smoke. He went behind the van and began to smoke. He was startled by a presence beside him. It was Swami. Swami came to him and asked him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Swami Kumaraswamy. Do you like to wear the vibhuti?" He said, "No, I am not interested. What is the use? It is just for a show." This is how he replied to Swami. Swami then asked him, "Do you like to eat vada?" Vada is a kind of fried savory snack that is made and taken as a snack or as well as a breakfast item. And Kumaraswamy replies, "Who does not like vadas? Everybody likes vadas." Then Swami says, "Do you remember your mother? You were just 4 years of age when she passed away." Now something touched him. What is this Swami saying? How does Swami know that I lost my mother at the age of 4? And then Swami continues, "Do you remember on one occasion she was making vadas? You were barely 3 years old, maybe 2.5 years old. At that time, you came from behind and embraced her and hugged her." Now Kumaraswamy said, "I am 45 years of age now. I don't have a recollection of what happened when I was not even 3 years old." Swami now smiles and holds his arm, opens the jacket that is covering his arm and touches a scar that is there. And Kumaraswamy, as if he has received an electric jolt, electric shock, he breaks down. And Swami says, "See this? I know." Swami says, "You went and embraced her from behind, but then she was frying vadas for you. Your arm went into that boiling oil and that is this scar over here." Now Kumaraswamy is in tears. He realizes that this Lord knows everything. This is an incident that has happened before 1926, before Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba's advent. And Swami is reliving it with such perfection that he himself doesn't remember so well. He falls at Swami's feet, shedding profuse tears. Swami raises him, and now there is so much of love. That is the magic of the Lord, the transformation of the heart, the samskar stage which comes after the chamatkar stage. Yes, chamatkar is beautiful and many people get so obsessed and stuck to the chamatkar. But the magic, the true miracle, as Swami said to Professor Kasturi back then, is the transformation of the heart. "You are my greatest miracle, Kasturi," Swami had told him. Like that, this was the miracle that took place. And Kumaraswamy is unable to hold. He just embraces Swami. And Swami returns his embrace. And at 8:30 p.m. that night in that village there on the way to Karur, this is a union of the Lord and the devotee. Swami then asks this Kumaraswamy for his driver's license. Back in those days, we used to have a booklet issued by the government as the driving license. And in that, a photo would be stuck. Swami materializes a similar sized photograph of his and just puts it next to his photo, next to the driver's photo, and the photo magically just stays there. And Swami says, "Remember, wherever you are, Swami is with you." He is overwhelmed. He again falls at Swami's feet, and by this time all have returned. It's time to start back and go towards Karur. As they all sit in the van, Swami again calls to Kumaraswamy and tells him, "Hey, I forgot something. Give me your driving license again." And when he gives the driving license, Swami turns to the page where the photos are there, and Swami touches his photo, and on that photo appears that particular day in October 1947, so that Kumaraswamy can remember throughout his life. As I said, it was around 10:30 p.m. when they reached Karur, and they all went to bed. The next day early morning, the driver was leaving back for Udumalpettai, and so was Sri Balapatta bhi. Swami gave Pad Namaskar, blessed. Swami also materialized a medallion, a talisman for this driver and put it on him. And I am sure that from Chamatkar to Samskar he came, and from Samskar he would have definitely moved on to Paropkar, wherein he participates in the service and devotional activities that Swami has recommended. And I am sure that with Swami by his side, he would have definitely attained or will attain Sakshatkar, just like any of us who will follow Swami's words and have faith in him. Swami had promised the residents of Karur that he would come back, and very soon he has again fulfilled his promise. So people are thronging by the thousands, and this time the hosts had arranged for darshan in the high school grounds so that more people could be accommodated and more people could enjoy darshan, sparshan and sambhashan with our dear Swami. However, where will that be enough? How can you anytime have enough of Swami? How much ever you get of Swami, you want more of Swami, more of Swami. And that is what happened. People again gathered at the residence where Swami was staying, and they began to do continuous Namasmarana and Bhajan. Bhajans went on late in the evening, even into the night. In fact, even at midnight the bhajans were on, and the host came down and requested these devotees, please, let's allow Swami to rest. Please allow Swami to rest. You are disturbing him with this continuous bhajan. They said, we have not seen Swami, and till we see Swami, we cannot be at rest. We all came late, we missed. So we will continue to sing till we get darshan. Oh please, but you are disturbing Swami. And even as this conversation was going on, who is there in the balcony of the home but Swami? Swami has come there, and in the middle of the night, as he grants darshan, people are thrilled. As I read this, it reminded me of how Swami came in the middle of the night on one Shivratri when we were all singing bhajans. At around 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m., Swami came and granted darshan. Seeing Swami like that, in the middle of the night, what a thrill it is, what a unique, rare opportunity it is. But it shows that wherever the glory and story of Swami is sung, he is present there. As Lord Narayana told Narada, sage Narada, Mad Bhakta Yatra Gayanti Tatra Tishtami. I will install myself wherever my glory is sung. Bhajan singing is such a beautiful way to attract Swami's presence wherever we are. And Swami stood on the balcony. All the devotees said, Swami, please sit, Swami, please sit. They realized, the devotee feels for the Lord, just like the Lord is feeling for the devotee. So they said, Swami, please sit, please sit. Swami said, no, I am not tired. You are also tired. You have traveled from so far, and yet you are singing bhajan. You sing. And Swami joined them in the bhajan singing. Together for half an hour, 45 minutes, they sang bhajans. Swami standing on top, the devotees sitting below. What is the love of the Lord? Needless to say, the next day when it was time for Swami to leave Karur and return to Puttaparthi, there was not a single eye that did not have tears. Everybody was sad. Everybody wanted a piece of Swami, one more piece of Swami, and it almost became a pandemonium. Swami's car was barely able to proceed. That is when Swami got out of the car, stood on the top of the car giving darshan to everybody, and then requested. Swami said, all of you must be disciplined. You must follow what Swami has said. That will make Swami happy more than rushing like this. And then Swami said, all these beautiful moments that you have witnessed, recapitulate them, relive them. That is how Swami will always be with you. Dear brothers and sisters, when we returned from Hadshi also, after Swami's visit to Hadshi and Mumbai, that's a beautiful visit, and if you want to relive that, I have recorded it as 11 separate episodes or 10 separate episodes at this playlist above. You can have a look at it. At that time, when we expressed our gratitude to Swami, Swami said, See, a time will come when you will not be able to get the same thing again and again. But you can get the same joy by reliving this with gratitude in your heart. And that is the magic of satsang. That is the reason why we have these videos, these blogs, these parayanams. Because when we relive it, we get the same joy. The beginning of November 1947, Swami spent almost 5 days in the town of Tiruchirappalli. Swami went to Puttaparthi via Trichy because the devotees at Tiruchirappalli or Trichy had also invited him, and the host there was the Tota family. What was unique at Trichy was that a caparisoned elephant was brought to take Swami in procession. Ambari, as they call. That elephant was ready with all jewelry, all finery, and Swami like an emperor. He is an emperor. He is the emperor of emperors. He is the lord of lords, the king of kings. Oh Bhagawan, how beautiful it must have been for devotees to have witnessed it. We can get a glimpse of that joy by seeing these photos. Swami is being led in procession by people singing bhajans, dancing in joy. Also, waters from several rivers had been brought in these Purna Kumbhams, and that was the grand welcome Swami received at Trichy. As Professor Kasturi records in the Satyam Shivam Sundaram, there are two wonderful leelas, wonderful mahimas of Bhagawan that occurred at Trichy. One of them was when he was going through in the car. In that excitement, one of the children there got badly injured. One boy got injured. He got run over by the car, and it became quite a scene over there. And the police were summoned. They were all coming there. In the meanwhile, Swami got out of the car, went to this boy, just gently patted him, and he was wholesome again. When the police came to investigate, they had nothing to investigate because this boy was running at his top speed and screaming at the top of his voice, "Baba cured me, Baba made me fine, Baba made me fine," just with vibhuti and a touch. That is one miracle that has been recorded. The other miracle, very interesting, is something that happened during a public discourse. There was a public meeting, and after his first ever historic public discourse at Karur, now Swami began to deliver discourses. In this discourse also there were rationalists and skeptics and doubters who had assembled, and they wanted to possibly heckle at Swami or do something to disrupt the proceedings. But right in the beginning, Swami looks at one of the boys in the audience, calls him to come on stage onto the dais, and then asks him, "What is your name?" Now this boy was born deaf and mute. Those who are born deaf usually become mute as well because there's no way for them to learn language. We learn language by listening, right? So this boy was deaf and mute, and Swami is asking him, "What is your name?" Everyone sat in bated breath in silence, wondering what would happen. Moments later, the speakers thundered as this boy spoke into the microphone, "Venkata Narayanan." Oh, the whole place burst into applause, and I think all these critics or rationalists or those who had come to heckle just slinked away. They just sinked away, moved away, seeing and witnessing this grand public miracle that Swami did. Of course, as Professor Kasturi notes, this miracle had an after effect as well, wherein at the host's residence, there were long lines of deaf children, mute children, those who are blind, all the people who wanted healing and cure. So much so that when Swami had to leave for Puttaparthi, he left from the back door and he had to be taken away by the hosts. See, this is what happens. Yes, the Lord does miracles. It is not as if Jesus resurrected every dead person. One is enough to realize who the Lord is. Having realized that, let us seek that from the Lord, seeking which and getting which, we will never have to seek anything else again. Let us not go to Him with paltry desires of relationships, money, etc., etc., etc. Let us seek that which He has come to give. Before returning to Puttaparthi, a couple of things that Swami did at Trichy was he had visited a devotee's home where he named the 3-month-old baby girl as Sai Prabha. He materialized some jaggery and put it into her mouth. That apart, Swami also addressed the Banana Traders charitable organization at a place called Rockfort. Then Swami returned somewhere towards the end of the first week or the beginning of second week of November to Puttaparthi, and Puttaparthi was now gearing up for the grand festival of the birthday. Back in those days, the birthday festival wasn't as grand possibly as the Dasara festival that we saw in the previous episode. But then all the devotees again gathered and enjoyed a magnificent birthday with their Swami. Swami mingled with the devotees. This was Swami's 22nd year of Advent, the completion of 21st birthday. As the devotees there celebrated the birthday of the Lord, dear brothers and sisters, let each and every one of us celebrate each and every day the birth of the Lord in our hearts. How blessed are we, dear Swami, that we came to know of you, that we have won your love, and that we have got this immense blessing of loving you. May the love that we have for you in our hearts keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.